Hello, Noble people. My name is Noble, and in this video, I'm going to give my first thoughts on Sonic Racing CrossWorlds. I was able to play the beta test, and I kind of want to do my first thoughts and feelings overall on this game, because this game is really good. I like Sonic Racing a lot. Actually, kinda a little bit more than Mario Kart, but I've always been kind of apprehensive since I don't think they've really had a decent racing game since they did the Transform series with All Stars Racing Transformers Basic Transformed. Team Sonic Racing didn't really scratch the same itch because it was obviously a team gimmick. So in this video, I kind of want to go over this entire game and give my thoughts and feelings on it. Now, obviously, this was the closed beta test, so some bugs are still available, and I actually will share some bugs that I actually got that hopefully will be fixed the next time they do a beta or alpha, or if they decide to release the game at time that hopefully these bugs will be fixed. So first, I said that I kind of like some of the Sonic Racing more than Mario Kart, and that is mainly because we've been kind of stuck on the same Mario Kart for literally a decade, which is insane to think about. Obviously, we got a bunch of new tracks with Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, but I still don't really care too much for Mario Kart 8. After playing it, obviously, for basically like a full decade, the game obviously is a little stale and we need new actual content when it comes to it. And even though we have gotten new characters, new courses, and new vehicles, it still isn't the best. I don't know what it is, but I always loved Mario Kart Wii. That is still probably one of my favorite racer games of all time. And for some reason, to me, the Mario Kart 8 doesn't have the same feel to it. I can never like control the car correctly, or I feel like the courses go on for a little bit too long. As well, when I have fond memories of thinking back to Transformed and Mario Kart Wii, they were very quick races, they were fun and exciting, and this game, CrossWorlds, actually has that. This game is very fun, very exciting, very fast-paced, actually, and I love it. So, the basic rules of the game are very simple. Obviously, kart race, we have the basic land, then we also have air and sea modes, like Transformed. Now, they don't necessarily transform like in Transformed. That is something that I wish was in the game, but since how the cars are actually designed in this game, that's very obvious that they couldn't done that. In this game, the cars are actually split into two separate sections when you're actually making the car itself. The cars are split into, like I said, two sections, with you having the front, back, and then obviously tires. And you can actually have a pretty big customization options with you being able to do character colors as well as color each character in yourself. And I had a lot of fun making it. My brother spent a lot of time making one of his cars when he was playing too. There is even like extra like gadgets that give you extra stuff. The favorite one by far for me is better air tricks, where as a lot of people were making kind of fun in some of the IGN and reviews of the game, where the tricks seemed really fast. That is because that you have a gadget that makes the tricks faster, but I actually would recommend using this trick. It's very fun, and you can design cars like whatever you want. There are 4 different types of cars as of right now, with there being speed, acceleration, power, and handling. And then there seems to be a question mark. Now, I don't know if that is a different entire vehicle type on its own, or if that is reserved for the rider gear or extreme gear. I don't actually know. We were only limited to a couple things in this actual game, so I'll actually go over what we were limited to right now. We are limited to only Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, Amy, Shadow, Omega, Eggman, Cream, and then Zaz for some reason. I do know a lot of people do like Zaz, but I don't really care for him too much. But we are limited to only them. I did play every single character for at least one track. I couldn't really make any distinction if the characters actually had anything different. I did feel like Omega actually did have some more weight to him, so that it might be a weight class, not necessarily like a speed class, that seems to be more tied to what car you choose to do, as the cars actually do have a option to be able to see what are the stats for. As yes, while if you're in the speed category, all of the speed cars are going to be fast, some of them are going to have different stats than other ones, and I really like that. Currently right now there doesn't seem to be like a strat, like a perfect car you need to use. In Mario Kart 8 there's like always like the perfect strat, and like everyone online is using the same exact car. In this case that is not the case. People are doing whatever car they like to do, and I'm very happy that it isn't just devolving into people just choosing the best combo and actually choosing characters they like and the cars that they like. The tracks that we were limited to was E Stadium, Rainbow Garden, Water Palace, Metal Harbor, Ocean View, and Wonder Museum, with the 5 crossroads being Roulette Road, Dinosaur Jungle, Kraken Bay, Lava Cave, not Cake, oh my gosh, and Sky Road. Now, the problem with Crossroads that I do have right now, but this might change obviously, is the idea of the Crossroads itself. Now, I do like the Crossroads, but for me, it seemed like we were getting the same exact crossroads a lot, and it would make the tracks repetitive, because obviously when we're picking the courses, their courses are going to be competitive. A good example is a lot of people liked Metal Harbor, which is the race you're actually watching right now, and that is one of my favorite tracks. I think my favorite track actually out of all of them will probably be Metal Harbor, and then also E Stadium, a new track that was a really nice track as well. But with the CrossWorlds, some of them aren't the best. Most notably, my 2 worst ones were Roulette Road and Kraken Bay. I had a lot of bug issues with those 2, most notably because after I would exit the Crossworlds, I would lose control of the car like instantaneously. Now, I would gain control of the car like within a couple of seconds. The problem is that if you're on some of the tracks where as soon as you get out of the crossroads you have to make a very sharp turn, it means that I'm just gonna face plant into the wall and not have any control over my character. So you can see right here I am in a low place one, but as soon as I enter the ring I lose control, crash into it, and don't regain control after like 3 seconds. After this time I was only in 9th and instantly went down to 12th, and now have no chance of catching up, and I pretty much just forfeit and have to lose this race. And that's really unfortunate. Now, this is what I would call a tame bug, and this is the only real big bug I have seen. I've had it where people I've seen where people just outright just glitch through the map, and that is obviously a lot worse than me just losing control of the car for a few seconds. But if you're a little bit behind in the race, this just guarantees that you're not going to be able to catch up. Like, even it giving me a bunch of last place items and boost abilities, I have no chance to catch up into the main pack with how bad I was behind anyways. Now, overall, this game is amazing. Way better than anything I thought before, and I'm very happy. Now, I genuinely think that this might be some type of competition to Mario Kart 9 whenever that releases, as Mario Kart 9 is almost 1,000,000% going to be obviously a Switch 2 exclusive. I'm pretty sure that's what they were showcasing when the Switch 2 was announced, but the fact that not a lot of people are too hype about the Switch 2, people think it's going to be a fairly needed update to a console that's fairly old. So obviously, people are probably only necessarily going to get it out of necessity to play some of Nintendo's products, but if there's just a better racer game with better, like, fun movement and actually better character models. A lot of people said that they didn't really like some of the character models that were showcased with Mario Kart 9. Obviously, we'll have to wait and see. But overall, I'm very happy with this first look. As a matter of fact, I'm going to continue playing this, and I also want to try and stream it today a little bit after this video actually goes live. So if you want to catch me live playing the beta test, then I recommend you like and subscribe. I do also want to talk about the full character roster, as most of the characters were actually revealed. Now, like I said, I only was able to play a few select characters. However, a lot of the roster was fully revealed, with some characters not fully revealed, so we still have ability for speculation. So this is what the full roster will look like, and I'm going to be honest, this full roster is pretty stacked. Obviously, we have the Riders characters with Jet, Wave, and Storm all being in the game, which is very big, but we also have some new contenders like we had Zaz and Zarvark, I think is his name is. I don't really care too much about the Deadly Six, so I actually don't know what the names are too well. And then we also have Sage and Eggpon as some kind of really confusing additions. Now, not Sage specifically, more the Eggpon character. I think that's kind of like the Metal Mario character, I guess, because like just a random character to have a fill slot in, which I really don't think they needed. But the last 5 are still a mystery, and we are also guaranteed to actually get more. Now, they did announce that they actually might just do Sega characters and might not just be stuck with Sonic characters, meaning we could get like other characters from Sega properties, which is cool. But for right now, I want to give my thoughts and feelings of what characters I would want to see next, only being Sonic, not necessarily Sega products, but just Sonic in general. My first character I want would be Neo Metal Sonic. Now, this doesn't necessarily have to be an actual character. This could just be like an alternate skin for Metal Sonic, who is already confirmed to be in the game, but Metal Sonic is my favorite character, very close to Shadow to being my favorite Sonic character, but Neo Metal is just cooler by all means, and it would also be cool because we actually be able to differentiate it from normal Metal, as normal Metal Sonic actually doesn't speak, but Neo Metal does. So it'd be just a cool character to have, and we haven't really seen Neo Metal Sonic in too many properties other than the IDW comics and also Sonic Heroes, obviously. And speaking about the IDW comics, now they have been kind of confirmed to be canon to the main storyline, so we may actually get some of the IDW characters actually in this game, and I love the IDW comics. They're one of my favorite comic series ever, so actually I'm hoping we get some of those characters. Surge would be one of the characters that I would love to see. She actually isn't in any game. She is in a mobile game, I believe, but no mainline games. And I would love to see her in the comics. She's such an interesting character, and to be honest, one of the most interesting rivals Sonic has ever had. I tend to like the rival characters more, as Neo, Metal Sonic, and Shadow are some of my favorite characters, and she has such an interesting backstory. I would highly recommend going and actually reading the IDW comics. Her story is really interesting, and I would love to see her in a mainline game. Now, I feel like introducing her in a racing game might not be the best play Sega could do if they actually would like to introduce her. I would actually recommend them trying to do her in a different game, but if they are already planning to do her and introduce her like properly in the next mainline Sonic game, then it wouldn't hurt actually having her in this game as a fun DLC character, or maybe even part of the final roster once the game actually goes live. Whisper would be the next character I want. Whisper is yet again another IDW comics character, and she's very interesting. Whisper the Wolf, I love her. Her story is very interesting and also very sad, and I like her as a character. She isn't as mainstream as known as, say, Surge would be, but she is a very nice and very interesting side character, and I would love to see her actually in the game. Now, I don't really know if they would introduce her in the game. Same thing with Surge. I feel like this might be another like DLC character they introduced. Now, it is kind of confirmed more so than Surge that she is canon, as in Sonic Frontiers, I believe Sonic has voice lines talking about Tangle, another character from the IDW comics, and Whisper. So I feel like Whisper is more canon than Surge would be, but I'm not 100% sure on that, and we'll just have to wait and see. But yeah, she would be a very interesting character to introduce into this game. Last but not least is Infinite. Now, Infinite is a little bit of a weird character. We don't actually know if he's dead or not. That's like one of the biggest like conspiracies in Sonic. Um, spoilers, not spoilers for Sonic Forces, but you really shouldn't play Sonic Forces. It's not the best of a game. But we don't really know what happens to him after he gets pulled into like the Phantom Ruby, the thing on his chest, or not. That it's complicated. We don't know what happens to him is the baseline. So it's like very open ended of what can happen with him, and it's people just shrug off like in the game if he's dead or not, and they're just like, oh well, he's gone. So the idea that he's actually fully dead is kind of not the best, and I would like it if he would have come back. Now, I feel like it would be slightly anticlimactic if he came back in a racing game. That being said, I don't take the racing games too seriously, and I feel like you shouldn't take the games too seriously as well. I know a lot of people have jokingly said Maria would be a cool addition to the game, which if they added Maria, that would throw a lot of wrenches into this, so I don't know if Maria would be a good character to add, but I think Infinite is such a cool character, despite the fact that the game he came from isn't the best. He's more of like the emo-esque Sonic characters, which, yes, aren't the best types of characters. We already have Shadow to fill that role, kind of, but I would absolutely love to see if he came back in this game. That's going to be it for this video. I hope you all liked. Like I said, I am planning to actually stream this game live a little bit after this video goes live, so make sure to like and subscribe. Stay noble. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.